I don't know if you guys like my hair. This is just overtone, so it's gonna wash out, but I wanted a little like, it's supposed to be rose gold. I didn't put it up here, so that's the thing. Anyway, let's talk about the Galactic Center today. You probably know that this is what we're talking about because you read the title before you clicked the video. Hi guys, it's Alyssa and welcome back to another daily video on my channel, The Divine Venus. That's me. I tried to spell it back here, but they only gave me one V and I didn't realize until right now that I have two V's in my name, and that's a lot of V's for one person to have in their name. We're gonna talk about the Galactic Center. I've never devoted an entire video to this, and this is so weird because it's such an important piece in astrology and not a lot of people talk about it. So let's get into it. We're gonna talk about it both astronomically and then astrologically so that you can kind of get a bigger picture of what this energy is and why it matters and yada, 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 yada. Let's begin. Right now, the Galactic Center is 27 degrees Sagittarius. It moved to this degree in April 2017. And before that, it was at 26 degrees Sagittarius. Now, the Galactic Center moves every 72 years, just like a fixed star. Like, for instance, Regulus is at 0 degrees Virgo, but for 72 years before that, before 2011, it was 29 degrees Leo. That recently moved and changed a lot of energy. So we could say that this Galactic Center is getting dangerously close to Capricorn. And when that happens, that's going to be a big shift. That will happen in about 144 years. Can I do math? This means that if you have anything in your chart at around 26 or 27 degrees Sagittarius, you could probably go to 25 degrees, 24 degrees, up to 28, 0 degrees in the next sign. Those are going to have some correlation to this Galactic Center energy and therefore be affected by it, just like if your sun was the Galactic Center instead. Astrologically, this is a very philosophical place for you. This is a spiritual place. And the reason why is because the Galactic Center is the center of our galaxy. It is a supermassive black hole surrounded by millions and millions of stars, okay? It is about 8 kiloparsecs away from Earth. Parsecs is a unit of measurement, not a unit of time. It's also about 26,000 light years away from us, but it falls around the star Sagittarius A, where it puts it in the Sagittarius constellation, and it's near Ophiuchus as well as Scorpius. Obviously, we read it at the degree that it's in tropical astrology. Sidereal astrology puts it the beginning of Sagittarius. I don't know the sidereal degrees because they don't matter to me. I'm sorry, not sorry. The Galactic Center, since it's this black hole, it's this darkness, it is where we began. Every galaxy is going to have the center of it. They say that probably most galaxies do have a supermassive black hole in the center, pulling the energy around it. Now, something very interesting has happened lately or in the recent past, and that is that gamma particles and infrared particles from the Galactic Center have covered Earth. Like basically, this energy is all up in our business now, which some astrologers have said it would be an ascension or bringing a lot of our subconscious to light. And so wherever this energy falls in your chart, you could say that you are also bringing something to light. And that's why reading it in your chart is actually very important. Wherever it falls in your chart, it's going to give you spiritual identity, philosophical ideas. It's going to make you innovative and bold. It's going to make you stand out. This is the area where you have a lot of strength, a lot of luck. It's where you connect with that joy, with that creatrix energy, that this is where you came from. This is who you are from the mother you were born. And when you die, you go back to the mother. You're going back into this energy. And so it's also going to be giving you a lot of genius. The Galactic Center, if you imagine that she is this ancient mother, more ancient than the very Earth we live on, and the energy of those infrared and those gamma particles reaching us, she would be wanting to enlighten you in these areas. So if you have any planets conjunct, planets are more enlightened. You have more of this energy that wants to, expand your knowledge and expand your awareness and send you to higher planes of consciousness. Also, you probably have a desire to get to the bottom of truth, to create reality from something that was once hidden or veiled over. The apocalypse literally means to unveil something, and you would imagine that the Galactic Center would want to help you in your own personal life or public life unveil the truth in something else. And so that is where you have a very great strength in your chart. You could also say that the divine feminine falls there. It's where she is, because it's divine consciousness. It's the breath of all life, the root of all creation, etc., etc. It's a big thing. I've heard it even be called the sun of our sun. Now, I said that once and someone said that Sirius, the star Sirius, is the sun of our sun, but I'd never heard that. I've heard that Sirius is a spiritual sun. Like, the Galactic Center literally carries a mass of about 4 million suns. It's just huge. It's astronomical, right? It's also surrounded by a lot of red giant stars, which are ancient stars. So this is a very ancient area. Obviously, it's before we can even fathom. And we exist because of it. So we exist because of the woman. You could say that this might even be in Greek or Roman mythology, chaos. Chaos that came before Eros and then before Gaia, because that would be the energy of that even the Big Bang or whatever, like all of that energy exists within her. So finding where she is in your chart is super, super important. Now, since it doesn't move, like it doesn't matter, like is your Galactic Center in Aries or is it in Leo? Obviously, it's always in Sagittarius. So it does matter where it is in your houses. You can pretty much figure this out without looking at your natal chart if you know your rising, because then you can figure out, oh, okay, Sagittarius is in this house. But if you need a little bit of help, we can get some for you. I'll open up this area for you so you can see. Go to astro.com and we will find exactly where the Galactic Center is. If you want to do this, you can. We have this area where down here where it says additional objects, you can add the Galactic Center. You don't need to, because I'm telling you it is 27 degrees Sagittarius. So here I am, and I'll just show you. You can see it right here on my midheaven. So we're gonna go through all of the houses now. So if you have it on your first house, or this is definitely much more significant if it falls or on your rising. If it's in your first house, then you would most likely have a Sagittarius rising. But this can actually even create an alien appearance because it's very otherworldly and the rising is your face. But if it falls more in the first and not necessarily right on the rising, this is going to make you a unique individual. Articulate, philosophical, very interesting to talk to. Bold and innovative. It would give you patience for divine timing. You're not going to move too quickly in this energy because you have a lot of wisdom. If you have the Galactic Center energy right there, you're going to be more patient, you're more thoughtful of it, more wise, and to let the universe guide you. If it's in your second house, you're most likely going to be having a Scorpio rising. If it's in your second house, it's of money and value. This is going to give you a lot of value in real things and not just money. Someone with this in the second might feel that it's really crazy, like the pay gap. People should be able to earn a livable wage and that kind of energy. Actually, giving of your own money makes you feel a lot more valuable when that's in there, because it is like a sort of a profit with money. It gives you great life lessons in the things you value. So you might learn this over time as well, because wisdom comes with age. What do you value? What is quality to you? Who do you want to touch with the value of money? Now in the third house, the third house is one of the best houses to use this, because the third house is naturally ruled by Gemini. It's about thinking things through. So usually if you have a Libra rising, this would be where yours is. This would make you very practical and articulate, kind of like if it was on your first house, and very dream to goal oriented. You can have the dream and you know how to put good action to make this happen. And it is because your thoughts are very dictated by this Galactic Center, giving you wisdom straight to your mind, which tells you how to accomplish beautiful things. You would normally be led to a very powerful community. So if you weren't born in a powerful community, you're led to powerful people, to people who can get you advancements in life so that you can do the things you want to do. And because that Gemini energy is the messenger, this is a divine messenger. You are a messenger of divine energy. Okay, so if it's in your 4th house, a lot of times if you have a Virgo rising, you are going to have, this in your 4th house. This is about releasing yourself from all negativity and trauma. This can make you feel like you can rise above this energy, sometimes even forget bad things that happened in the past, just because your mind is expanded beyond that. If you think about having such a universal, like huge thing outside of our reality dictating your roots and everything, it could make you feel like you're not really even from this world, that this world and this life is short, and the universe has been around for billions of years, for an infinite amount of time, and therefore what really matters in this life. This would also give you a blessing of loyalty and safety, keeping you safe. It would give you psychic access to hidden secrets. You feel like you kind of just know the ancient ideas of the world, or you're interested in them. You definitely desire to know, and I feel like you would even pick it up more just because it's like a part of you. Just energetically one with ancient understanding. Galactic center is in your 5th house. Since the 5th house is creation and it's your childhood, you are a part of this divine energy. The womb of creation exists within you. This is another great place to have the galactic center. If you are a Leo rising, you normally have this. It has the energy of my will to thy will. Like if you want to do something, it's probably very connected to this creatrix energy. You're connecting completely to the plan of the universe. And a true child of the cosmos. The intelligence of the entire universe lies within what you make and what you do. Your galactic center is in the 6th house. Usually if you have a Cancer rising, this would be what you have in this energy. You have the ability to release yourself from the collective consciousness. And this would mean working hard though in these areas brings you a lot of luck and joy, a lot of doors opening for you in ways that almost seem like they could never happen. Because the 6th house is like everyday mundane things, a lot of expansion and growth in that area. You're not going to march to the same drummer of everybody else. You're not going to really feel like you can have a 9 to 5. It's all about feeling and putting your belief systems to work and not just following everybody else. The 7th house, this is about sharing yourself with others. You'd have a very deep devotion to another person, sharing your energy with somebody else. That this would be very common of a Gemini rising to have the galactic center in their 7th house. This can make you relationally promiscuous, which can mean like you like to spread your awareness of self out to a lot of different people. But since the 7th house is not about sex, it's about connecting in a partnership. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are sexually promiscuous. But if you have the galactic center in your 8th house, that can come up because you are trying to emotionally and spiritually connect to other people, to share yourself with others, to gain access to that divine knowledge and that divine consciousness. You can be very meditative and contemplative, righting the wrongs of the world, expressing your love very physically and emotionally to everybody else. This is normally very common if you have a Taurus rising. So if you say that Taurus risings are more sexually promiscuous, it could make sense because of this galactic center in their 8th house. The 9th house is very action oriented. You're committed to truth. It's not as great as when it's in the 3rd house because it's already so much extra energy that you could almost be bogged down with the energy of the galactic center there. This is very common for Aries risings to have because their chart is not flipped. But this means that they can be very connected to nature. When they lose themselves a little bit, they like to ground outside, deep breaths, Mother Nature, all that energy, kind of almost even feeling sometimes like when you are getting more into the philosophical understanding of your life, you lose yourself a little bit to that energy and then you have to come back down. You're definitely someone who paves new paths. You're innovative in that energy because of your ability to receive the downloads straight into your higher consciousness. But if you don't connect to your higher consciousness in that energy, it's harder to receive it and people might not understand you. Now, if it's in your 10th house, you have a lot of career ambition and you see a lot of the big picture. you're a visionary and inspired, also kind of inspirational. Usually you'll have this very spiritual or philosophical career energy there. That this is common of Pisces risings. It doesn't necessarily mean you have a Pisces rising if it's in your 10th. And you can be a healer. Definitely sending out healing on a self-actualized scale. And it makes you very starry-eyed in general too. Obviously I have it on my midheaven. I'm very starry-eyed. I like the stars. So there you go. Now, if it's in your 11th house, you have a lot of faith in your dreams. This is a very good place for the Galactic Center to be. Very common of Aquarius risings to have it there. You would be able to always find new solutions to any problem that stands in your way, new beginnings, and manifest very well. Manifesting great feats that people are like, whoa, how did you do that? How did you manage that? And it's from this Galactic Center energy, making sure you can live out your dreams. Now, if it's in the 12th house, you are capable of believing in the impossible, and there are no boundaries or psychic limitations here. Now, this is very common then of the Capricorn rising. You bring subconscious ideas to light. Now, because Capricorn risings normally have this and they are very career oriented, you could say that having the Sagittarius Galactic Center in their 12th house helps inspire them to be able to work stronger and smarter. So I hope that helped you guys understand a little bit of what the Galactic Center does. Thank you so much. This was so much fun to talk about, and I will see you later. Okay, bye.